Hello everyone, it's Stephen here from World of Vapes. Today we're going to be talking about some hints and tips for cloud chasing and the information you need to know if you want to get into cloud chasing. And you'll see many vapors, and me myself included, upgrading, working on their atomizers and mods, their coils. And this is all because it's no longer just a hobby, it is an actual sport. And believe it or not, it is a sport. This competition is being held worldwide. Where vapors get to compete against each other to see who can blow the biggest cloud. There's prizes to be won, from juice lines to mods to atomizers to drippers to sponsorships to cash prizes from as little as £50 all the way up to a couple of £1,000. And all depends where you are and what sort of competition you're in and how good you are. Like anything, it's got to take practice. You're never going to be good straight away, so don't get discouraged if you aren't blowing big, huge clouds straight off. It is going to take a bit of practice, a bit of figuring out, because at the end of the day, everyone's different. So you need to experiment, see what works best for you and what doesn't. And we'll talk a bit about the dangers of cloud chasing if you don't know or understand things in it, because really cloud chasing is a safe sport, but as with anything, you need to find out as much information as you can before attempting it, because last thing you want to do is just go gun-ho, throw yourself in it and hope for the best, because literally you're playing with fire at that stage. There's a lot of things involved with cloud chasing. You've got, for instance, you've got battery safety. That's one of the biggest things I can't stress to anybody enough about battery safety, whether it's cloud chasing or just normal daily vapes. Doesn't matter what kind of vapor it is, battery safety is always key. We'll get a bit more in detail about that. You've also Ohm's law. You really need to know that for cloud chasing, because you're going into sub-ohm vaping, super sub-ohm vaping. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on. So you need to know Ohm's law, so you know you're not pushing your batteries beyond its limits. You know what you're building, what's safe, what you can use on your vapor. So I think there's about 9, possibly 10 tips here for you. So let's get into it, guys. Right, so first of all, we'll just start off with what I think is the most important thing, whether you're cloud chasing or you're just daily vaping just to stop smoking, and that's battery safety. At the end of the day, none of us want to see anybody getting hurt or blowing themselves up or blowing their vape up because they're using a battery that's not safe. And by not safe, I mean if it's got a tear in the wrapper or it's got a dent or a bulge sticking out. Now with a tear in the wrapper, you have two choices. You can either dispose of it and replace it, or you can do a battery rewrap. And battery rewraps are nice, easy, as long as it's just the outer wrapper that's damaged. You can do that. I'll do a video in the next couple of days showing you how to rewrap batteries. It's nice, easy and simple. You get them for a couple of pound online for a pack of 10. You can get them in the vape shops. They're a nice, easy thing to do. But however, if your battery has a dent or a bulge sticking out, do not use it whatsoever, because that means the structural integrity has been compromised. It's not going to fit properly anyway. If there's a bulge or if there's a dent in it, it means it's been forced in, so it's more likely to leak if it's heating up or it can explode on you, and nobody wants a battery exploding on them or their vapor, or it can cause serious damage to you or others around you. So basically, know what you're doing. Look after your batteries before you use them. Once you've charged them, check them regularly. It's just little common sense things like that. None of us want to see somebody on the news because their batteries blew up because they've got a short or something stupid like that. Because it doesn't just affect that person, it affects the whole industry and all other vapors. We've got enough trouble at the moment with all the new laws and things coming in, regulations coming in worldwide, and I'm cracking down on it without adding any more ammunition to their fight. So just be respectful of the batteries and the danger are using it. Just common sense, and know your amp limit of your battery, know what you can do with your battery, and if your battery starts to get warm, put it down, let it cool down, and make sure you aren't covering the air holes and things like that. Make sure that if it's in your pocket it's switched off, or if it's a mechanical it's locked, or if it's not got a locking thing, make sure the button can't be pressed. Whatever you do, don't have a battery just sitting in your pocket and walking about with it with some change or keys in your pocket, because you're just going to create a circuit. The whole outside of the battery, that's the negative. The little circle bit at the very top, that's the positive. And all it takes is a key or a coin just to scrape a bit of the wrapper off or anything, and for it to touch the positive and the negative, and it'll create a circuit. And because there's nowhere for it to go, it's just going round and round and round, and it'll either short your battery or it'll just go pop and it'll just explode in your pocket or whatever, and it will cause some serious burns or damage to you. And none of us want to see that. So just be safe. If you're not sure about something, just ask somebody that does. Ask your local vape shop. Ask me. I don't mind. I'd rather you asked and you take precautions and were safe than take a risk and end up causing harm to yourself or somebody else. Next, we'll talk about airflow. An airflow can be a tricky one because it all comes down to personal preference. Sorry about that, guys. It'll take a while for you to get to the perfect sweet spot of where your airflow is. All depends on your atomizer, or whether you're using an RDA or an RDT. For you that don't know, an RDA is a rebel dripper, RDT is a rebel dripping tank atomizer. It all depends what sort of air holes they've got, whether it's little holes, loads of them, or if it's a cyclops, or if it's just a line, or if it's underneath airflow, or if it's coming down from the top like the Kennedy. It all depends what kind of airflow you've got, and it's just a case of tweaking it ever so slightly each time until you find a sweet spot. It will be hard, it will take time. I've only just recently figured out my sweet spot, and I've been doing cloud chasing for probably the best part of 8 months now. I've had good clouds before that, but every so often I've just tweaked it, and at the moment I just recently found the sweet spot for me, where it's perfect on my mod or than what suits me. But also you're going to have your e-liquid. That's going to play quite a big factor into it. You've got your PG and VG ratio, which is propylene glycerine, which is PG, and VG is vegetable glycerine. If you want to do cloud chasing, get nice thick clouds, you're going to want a higher VG. I recommend 8 to 20. That's my personal favourite for an all-day vape as well as cloud chasing. Now if you're going to competition, you will most likely want to use either 100% VG, which is max VG, or 90-10. All depends on your personal preference. You can use, some places will let you use just pure VG, no flavouring, no nicotine, no nothing. I'm not that keen on the flavour of just pure VG. I like a bit of flavour, so I normally stick to 8 to 20 or 9 to 10 myself. Your mod, that will play a big part in it. Obviously, better the mod you have more ramp up and more power you can get from your batteries into your coils. Now, you'll find most cloud chasers will use something like this, which is a mechanical mod, which means there's no electronics on it. It's literally buttons here at the bottom, which touches negative. Atomizer, my dripper, is touching positive, so when I press this, it completes a circuit, and it releases a vapour. So there is literally no safety precautions in these, so you do need to know what you're doing. You can't just, it's not like these, like the RX200 or Noisy Cricket 2, where they have a built-in feature where you can only fire it for 10 seconds and then it cuts off. off, or if it overheats it'll cut off, just to stop your battery. You run the risk of blowing your battery or having a short. This doesn't have any of that in it. It is literally, this is just a copper tube by VGod. It's the VGod Pro. I have done a review on this. If you want to check it out, guys, you can. I'll leave a link for you. You can go and check some of that out as well. But most people stick to mechanicals because there's less battery sag and it hits harder. Copper's more conductive than stainless steel or aluminium and things like that. But it's not just that. With these, you can also build super sub-ohm. And when I say super sub-ohm, that's below 0.10 on your coils. That's like 0.10, 0.9. Build I've got just now, mine is super sub-ohm. This is a 0.9. And as you can see, it's great cloud production here. That's just a little short drag. You can see it's nice, thick and dense. I'm just using Coil Glaze Honey. This is a 70-30 and that's excellent. Again, I've done a review on this and some of the other coil glazes as well. If you want to check that out, guys, feel free. I'll leave a link in the description for that as well. First of all, you need to know your amp limit, especially with one of these. You need to know your amp limit of your battery. I personally use Sony VTC5s because they're quite a high battery limit, amp limit, and you can push it at quite high. Last thing you want to do is put too much power through your coil, through your battery, and pop it or vent it. Potentially run your risk of giving yourself an injury. You need to know Ohm's law. I can't stress that out enough. You get Ohm's law calculators on your phone or on the internet. I've got mine on my phone, so it's with me at all times. So if I'm at friends or families and they're going to make a coil, I can always just double check what they're going to build, if it's safe for their mod and for the batteries they've got. The last thing I want is somebody I know, or even if it's somebody I don't know, putting themselves at risk or those around them. But we'll go a little bit more into Ohm's law in a little bit. Getting a little bit off subject there, sorry about that. But your mod will play some effect in it, but it's not the only factor. You've also got your atomizer, that'll play a big factor. Most people use drippers, also known as an RDA, rebuildable dripping atomizer, hence dripper. It looks something like this, where every time you want to use it, you just get your juice, and you just drip it on like this each time. You normally get a couple of hits off of it each time before you need to re-drip it. It all depends on the size you've got and the kind of cotton you've got. I use Japanese organic cotton. Personally, that's my preference. I've tried cotton bacon, quick wick and things. I still prefer my Japanese cotton. That's just personal preference. You need to work out what's best for you. But you can cloud chase with sub-ohm tanks. Sub-ohm, I do say sub-ohm because most cloud chasing is sub-ohm. You can't just go and chuck a normal tank or RDA on to, say, a mechanical mod like this. This, as you can see, there's no pin here. You're literally, your 510 pin is literally screwing straight onto the top of the battery. So you need to have something that's got a protruding 510 pin. When I say protruding, it means the screw is sticking out further than this. There's a lip here in the middle. It sticks out further for it to be hybrid safe. Basically, if you're into mechanicals, just do your research, see what atomizers, the drippers or that, which are mechanical mod safe or hybrid safe, as some sites will say, or shops. Just do your research, ask people. Well, if somebody doesn't know, we're all pretty friendly in the vapor community. Ask somebody. There's plenty of sites, groups on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. There's billions of videos on it, all out there. Just ask. We're all here to help. None of things out. Ask people. So just the same for you. Now we'll go on to your inhale and exhale technique. This does play quite a big factor. It depends how you're inhaling and exhaling. And there's all different kinds. There's the standard just pull, suck and pull. No pun intended, guys. Just like how people go with a cigarette, just go and then just go, which is okay. That might be how you want to do it, but if you're wanting a big cloud, that's not really going to work. You really need to sit up, and you want to try and fill your lungs up as much as you can. If you watch people doing cloud chasing, you'll probably see them just before they take the inhale, they'll crouch down slightly and blow out. And all that is just push the last little bit of air is in their lungs out when they're crouched, so they have maximum lung capacity. So when they suck, you slowly come up and then you exhale like that. Now, how you exhale will affect how your cloud's going to look. If you want a nice, dense, thick one, blow out slower. Not too slow, because if you're doing it too slow, it's just going to dribble out. But just slow enough, at just at a steady pace. If you're looking to get distance, you're best blowing out slow to start with, and then about halfway through your lung capacity, when you feel you're about halfway through blowing it, just go really hard. Just blow quite quick at it. And what that'll do is push the cloud which you've already made, stretch out a bit and push it further. As you can see, I'll do a quick demonstration. Just like a normal pull, like I said, the normal standard cigarette pull is, and then as you can see, it's not that great a production. Where if I go, it's a much bigger cloud because there's more space in your lungs, so you can take in more vapour, so you can push out more. Also, another good little hint is when you're inhaling, don't close your mouth completely. So have the sides of your mouth open, so you're like here, it's a gap. So it's like here, how there's a gap, because what that does is lets you draw in more air as well. And lets you bring air into your coils, which allows you to pull in more vapour and pull up more vapour. Airflow does play a big factor into it, and it's just practice makes perfect. So don't get discouraged at the beginning when you first start. If you're not getting big clouds, it does take practice. You will get better, and if you're going to be practicing a lot, I suggest you get either a juice with no nicotine or low nicotine if you're going to be practicing a lot of this. It's just because you don't really want to get nicotine buzz. But, well, some of you might want to, that's up to you. Me personally, I wouldn't want to, because last thing I want is sore head, dizziness and feeling sick. If you do end up with a nicotine buzz, best thing you can do is put the vapour down, leave it, get something to eat and drink plenty of water and plenty of fluids. Just keep drinking and drinking and drinking. And just rehydrate yourself and have something to eat. Should subside after about an hour and a half. Maybe a little bit longer depending on how much of a buzz you attain. In your build. Now this is quite an important one. There's all different kinds of builds. You've got the option of running single coil or dual coil. Most cloud chasers, me myself included, run dual coils, which is 2 coils like this, where single coil is only just one individual coil where there's not one on the other side. I prefer dual, but there's all different kinds of coil builds. You can do Clapton builds, Alien builds, dual wrap, dual Canthal, dual Clapton wire. There's all different kinds. All depends what you're looking for and what sort of flavour you're after and what knowledge you've got. But first things first, if you are building, guys, definitely don't try building without one of these. You need to know what ohms your build is before you put it on your mod. Last thing you want to do is put your build on your mod and not know your ohms. Because you don't know if your ohms is too low for your batteries. Or your mod. So see what your ohms are. Go into the ohms calculator, put in your ohms, your battery amps. If you're not sure what your ampage is for your batteries, get the name and the model of your battery. Just go into Google, type it in. Just type in, say for example, my batteries are Sony VTC5, so I'll type in Sony VTC5's amp limit and question mark and hit search, and it'll come up a list of sites and answer my question, what my amp limit is. And you need to use the ohms calculator to see whether your build's within your amp limit or if it's exceeding it, and if it's exceeding it, don't use it. Or if you do, you're running a risk on yourself and the other people around you. And if you are just getting off building, and I suggest you get one of these as well. It's a coil jig. You just insert one of these, so you can choose your size you want, your diameter, your coils. I've got the Coil Master kit here. Great bit of kit. It's here. I got this. It's got everything you need, from your coil jig, your sorry guys, your voltage meter, to your scissors for cutting cotton, your tweezers for sorting your cotton, your screwdrivers, your pliers, your wire cutters. You even get a roll of wire with it as well. These are ceramic, so when you heat up, once you built your coils, you put them into your mod, you dry fire them without any cotton in them, and you want them glowing at the same sort of colour at the same time. So if one's glowing slightly faster than the other one, so say one's getting more redder and orangier than the other one and it's heating up quicker, what side it's heating up the quickest, you get these and you just squeeze it while it's still hot, let it cool down, then fire again, and you just keep tweaking it, squeezing it bit by bit until you eventually even out. You want the same sort of speed. You don't want one side heating up quicker than the other, because all you got to do there is burn out your cotton, get a really horrible burnt taste, and it's not nice, guys. You don't want that, honestly. Talk a bit about the dangers now. I say dangers, it's only really a danger as such if you don't know what you're doing. It's the same with any sort of sport. You can't just rush into things and hope for the best. You need to know. I can't emphasise enough, as I've said many a times, Ohm's law plays a big factor in this. And battery safety. They are the two main things before you even think about getting any sort of cloud chasing or sub-ohm vaping. Do your research. Have a look online. There's plenty of videos on YouTube talk about Ohm's law. You get Ohm laws calculators online. You get apps on your phone, on your tablet, for your laptop, computer, pretty much everywhere. Ask somebody. If you have any questions about it, ask me. I'm more than happy to answer you and have a conversation with you, explain things to you a bit more in detail. If the video was a little bit confusing for you guys, or you want to ask me a question, drop us a comment or just private message me. If you don't want to do it on YouTube, you can private message me on Instagram. My Instagram is Waddle_vapes. I'll leave a link in the description as well. If you want to get me that way, you can private message me on that. Everything you say will just be between us. It's nothing to do with anyone else. Don't feel that's a stupid question. There's no such thing as a stupid question. And every question is worth an answer. So if you're not sure about something, just ask. I'm more than happy to ask. And if I don't know, I know plenty of people who will know the answer, or I'll go out and research it and give you the answer. I'll more than happily research the answer. If you've tried to have a look for something and you're not quite sure how to find it, or you're not sure about the information you found, just drop a comment or message me. I'm more than happy to explain things to you, or go and do some research on it. I can explain to you, or if you say, what about doing a little video explaining this a little bit more, I'll happily do that. If you have got any questions, guys, just drop us a comment or a message below. If you've any ideas or anything you want to see more of in the future, like more juice reviews or more product reviews or more hints and tips like this, anything like that, or a Q&A, like you ask me questions and I'll answer them. If you want to see anything like that, guys, if you just let us know down below what you are wanting and what you are interested in, I'll do that for you. So yeah, thanks for watching, and keep safe and keep vaping, guys. Stay off these smokes, and remember, always be safe. Thanks for watching, guys.